Okay, we are recording. Again, hello and good evening to everybody. My name is Rocco Lamacchia, and I am one of the directors of admissions and financial aid here at Carthage College. And on behalf of the college, on behalf of the admissions and financial aid office, as well as the Aspire Center and the Aspire office, we would like to welcome you to tonight's webinar. We are going to be covering in the next hour how we work with students that are interested in the possibilities of public service and social impact, and how those will relate to students and opportunities here, both in and outside of the classroom, if you were to attend Carthage College. And this is a very, very special place, and we have tons and tons of resources for students to be successful. And I would like to introduce one of those resources, wonderful resources that we have here on campus. My colleague Gussie, who works in the Aspire Center, and I'll allow her this opportunity to introduce herself here in just a moment. A couple of small housekeeping things. Again, for the families that are just logging in, if you could please put the student's first and last name in the chat and where you guys are essentially logging in from. That will allow us to make sure that you have credit for this virtual visit. Our hope is to meet with you in person at some day and have you on campus for those that haven't had this visit, but this is a great introduction to some of the resources that we have here to support our students through the transition of their undergraduate studies. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Gussie, and I will be covering the chat box in the event that there is a question that families do not feel comfortable asking aloud, but we do encourage participation. That's the reason that we're doing this. And so feel free to, come off mute, show your face on the video, whatever is easier for you. But Gussie, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Hi, everybody. I'm Gussie Yonashiro Daniels. I'm going to be pulling up a PowerPoint. And let's get into the slide. So I'm from the Aspire program. I'm your career specialist for public service and social impact, which some of you might say, well, what does that mean? So you can see I have all these majors listed, and these are the majors that I support. So I'm your connector if this is one of your majors. But before I get started any further, I kind of wanted to give you a little information about myself. I am a graduate of Carthage College. I was a psych major. And then later on, I got my Master's of Science in Clinical Counseling. I was born in Okinawa, Japan, and I came to the United States at age 18. And then, of course, started looking for a college. And I was very fortunate to be able to find Carthage, and I enjoyed my experience there tremendously. But let me tell you a little bit about my work history. So I am a retired CEO of YWCA Lake County, Illinois. And after about 20 plus years working in the nonprofit field with YMCAs, I took early retirement from the Y and started a new career at Carthage College as a career specialist, which I loved. I'll tell you a little bit of trivia about myself. I am a scuba diver, and one day I came face to face with a shark. I survived the experience just so I could become your career specialist. So I'll get started with some questions for you. So those of you that have paper and pencil on hand, I'll go through the questions with you. But those that don't have, I'll give you a minute to go run and find some paper and pencil so you can answer some of these questions. We're doing a little exercise. I thought this would be funner than just going over the facts of the Aspire Center. I thought it would be a cool thing to experience a little bit of the Aspire Center. So we'll get started. And there are 5 questions. So the first one is, what are 2 things you would have never done but would love to try? What is something that might scare others but doesn't scare you? What are 3 things about you that make you you? What are 2 things in your life or world around you that are changing? And what are 3 little things that mean a lot to you? So if all of you could jot down 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5 questions, the answers. I'll give you a minute. Okay. Now here's the assertiveness part that I'm asking all of you to take. Unmute yourself and go ahead and share one of the 5 questions that I put up on the screen and tell us what the answer is about you. Is there anybody that wants to do that? And if you're shy, you can put it in the chat box. Anybody? Go ahead.
For number 4, I said my maturity and my future plans.
Okay, wonderful. Anybody else want to hit another question?
Hey, I'm Iz. For number 1, I really want to be in a band ensemble. I've only been in an orchestra one and a vocal one, and I really want to skydive.
That's pretty cool, being on a band and skydiving.
Yeah.
We'll work on that together.
Yes.
Is there anybody else that would like to share?
We have a couple in the chat that I'll share out loud for everybody. So we do encourage participation. So I don't want to have to read all these, but I will if we have to. So Caitlin has shared with us that to question number 1, she would like to go to Hawaii. So that's an opportunity for her that she's looking forward to doing. Nora shared with us for question number 5, her family, her cats, and travel. Peyton has shared with us for question number 3, friends, personality, and family. And Sophia has shared with us travel to new countries, and Eric would like to, looks like travel to Japan. So another question answered, again, let's try to do some participation here. I'm not going to be able to read all of these. They're kind of flying in at this point, but it looks like there's now some full participation in the chat.
Number 5, sorry, I'm Isabella. What's important to me is my family, friends, and school.
Great. Family, friends, and school. Thank you, Isabella.
I'm Katie, and I really like to travel to Europe and learn how to surf.
Katie, I think traveling to Europe is kind of one of my passions as well. I did try to, I'm not good at skiing, so that I already tried that and it didn't work out for me, but I'm hoping it works out for you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. I am thrilled that we had participation both in the chat as well as you guys all just speaking up and speaking your mind, etc. So I guess the question is, why did I have you do this activity? To start, we want to ensure that students have a true awareness of who they really are. So often we go through our academic journey all the way up to senior year of high school and just plug in the required classes and don't really get a chance to pause and reflect on what we really want to be studying or focusing on. So at Carthage, we allow students to self-identify their skills, their interests, their values through industry-recognized assessment and tools. We have candid conversations with them about what this means for their current goals and where they feel they want to explore more. Sometimes we meet students who have a clear idea of exactly what major they want, what goals they want to accomplish. And other times we have students that say, I don't know. And guess what? That's okay too. The Aspire program is built to honor every student's journey, no matter where they may be starting. It could be deciding on what their major is, or it could be deciding on what kind of job they want to work once they graduate. There are a variety of ways we work with students to help prepare them, including bringing more industry awareness to our students. For example, a student may have an interest in English and major in it, but isn't sure how that translates into a job. So my job is to help students understand how many industries look for English majors that have transferable skills like strong analytical abilities and communication skills. Many students just simply aren't aware of how their skills translate into the real world environment. So what is the Aspire program and how is it unique? It's a 4-year integrated career and life preparation program funded by the generous $15 million gift. We do all the things other career centers do and provide: resume, interview, job searching, etc. But we also want you to build a meaningful life. So we also focus our efforts on helping students build skills future employees are looking for through the lens of creativity, leadership, and entrepreneurship. And you can see the pictures here where students are dabbling in their creative skills. So how does a student get involved in the Aspire program? You're already in the program. You can see you're auto-enrolled. We gotcha. There's nothing extra you need to do. You get immediate access to me as your career specialist once you become a Carthage student. And we continue working with you even after you graduate from Carthage. So one of my jobs is to help you get a fabulous, job after you graduate from college. But say you lose it 3 years later, that job, because downsizing or whatever, you can come back to the Aspire Center and we can help you search again and find a new job for you. So we're here for you during your 4 years and after your 4 years. As you can see, we are part of a support team because of Carthage's holistic advising model. Students have a connected web of supporters from athletic coaches, faculty, new student registration specialists, success coaches, and more. You are that Carthage Firebird, and you can see all the people around you are there to support you. We work with each other to make sure students are on track, and if not, we nudge you along. I want to pause and make sure I'm very clear. The Aspire program certainly does help you prepare for the workforce, but it isn't all about work. It's a truly holistic look at building a fulfilling life. I have 2 questions for you guys, and feel free to just unmute and answer, okay? Who can remember something you did in 8th grade? Come on, you were so active in the beginning. I know you can continue to do so.
I remember going to tour different colleges.
Cool, cool. Do you remember anything else in 8th grade? Anybody else want to pitch in?
I went on a trip to Washington, D.C. after the school year with my school.
Yes. Do you remember what you learned when you went on that trip?
We went to a bunch of different museums, so anything that like the museum specialized in, we learned about there.
Why do you guys think that this is important to remember what you did in the past? Why would
I'd
you
say-
think it matters?
It matters to remember what you did in the past so that you can kind of take those lessons and like learn from them so you have like a successful future.
Yes, yes, very good. That was you, Megan, right?
Yes.
Yes, very good. What is another reason why you would want to know what you did in the past? Well, I'll tell you one of the reasons why I would like to know what happened in the past, and that is because I have such a bad memory. I forget. I remember some things and then I forget other things. And as you're going through your 4 years at Carthage College, you're going to forget some of the things that you did as a freshman or sophomore. And so what we do, we came up with what's called my Aspire plan. So it tracks your experiences through guided activities, events, and reflection to help them develop their career and life readiness skills and mindset. So this is a tool that you use to track your experiences. You create what we call a developmental portfolio to capture your best moments so you don't forget. And it's so easy because you're going to have so many best moments. In other words, building a developmental portfolio over time helps students to move from the culture of box ticking to the culture of becoming. Students need space and encouragement to compile their imperfect and sometimes unorganized ideas into a space that we created for you. A developmental profile helps to provide that space. So this process helps you gain confidence and see growth over time, which can make professional portfolio development less stressful. And when I say that, it's when you get to your senior year or junior year and you have to start developing your professional resume, you can use your best of moments and your tracked experience to cut and paste into your resume and build it so that your experiences over the next 4 years are going to be used to develop your resume. In short, your map will include not only things you did while at Carthage, but what you learned and how those experiences shaped you. So think about an Apple Watch. It nudges you and gives you reminders. It helps you take a pause when you need to breathe. It helps you make progress through your goals. So MAP is similar to an Apple Watch. We are able to nudge you and give you fun incentives as you progress establish goals, and keep you on your new path if you need to be recalibrated. And I'll show you a picture here of how we have gamified. To me, it's like a diary of your activities, but it also encourages you to try different things, and then you document those things that you're doing. So you get points. For example, making connections. You would go into that, you'd click it, and you would put in there, I went to a networking event, and who you met, your experiences, et cetera, and you just keep it there, and that would be, saved, and then you would get points for it. So you can see all the different types of activities and achievements you can do, and it's because we're trying to build you up to your full potential. So I say yes. We encourage all our students to get involved in a variety of ways, including integrating themselves into the campus culture here at Carthage, truly based on an interest or goal you may have. We believe there's a student organization for you. And if you don't find one, we encourage you to create one. Participating in student organizations on campus not only enhances your sense of belonging at Carthage, but also helps you build critical components of personal and professional success, including critical leadership building opportunities, collaborations, global sensitivity, and so much more. We also provide a variety of events on campus that are built for you, including guest speakers from industries, master classes with professionals, and career development opportunities. A prime example of that breadth of connections we have for our students is our Aspire Network. The Aspire Network is our alumni connection platform. And we are so proud to offer this through the Aspire program because we want to ensure that all our students, no matter their background, have equitable access to connections. 80% of all jobs are acquired through a referral. We want to help our students list their connections so that they can adequately connect to a referral. We have alumni practically from all over the world, as you see by the colored indicators in this picture. They have actually registered themselves to be on the Aspire Network because they want to help future Carthage College students. They want to be your referral. They want to reach down and pull up. We are proud of our extensive network with our alumni. But I'd like to quickly indicate that the Milwaukee-Chicago region is home to more headquarters per capita than anywhere else in the world, including those you see on this screen, and so many more. We work with employers all over the world for internships and jobs. And this is just a small listing. And I was looking at this and I said to my supervisor, hey, can I put some psychological stuff in there, psychological sciences in there, companies that we work with, our pre-law stuff in there? But I think you kind of get the picture. There would be not enough room on this one little slide. So I kind of want to end my presentation by thanking you for your time. And if you have your phone out, take a picture of my contact information, because you're free to send me questions through my email. And I'd like to open myself up now. I'm going to take us off the PowerPoint and open myself up for any questions you might have for me or us. You could put it in the chat too. Any questions?
Do you have a favorite thing about Carthage? Like, why did you come back after you graduated and decided to work there?
Well, when I was going as a student, I was a commuter student, so I wasn't your traditional student. And I also worked full time. I had tried a university and I felt lost. There was just so many people. I would go to a class and it would have 300 people in the classroom. It was like an auditorium, and I felt very disconnected. So I looked for a college that would be student-centered and really care about me as a person and my journey that I was going through. And I was so fortunate to come to Carthage. Small classes, you know, everybody knows you and everybody is there to support you in your journey. And I loved that. I love that experience. And so when I became an alumni and I retired and decided, okay, I want to start using my master's degree, which is in counseling. And I said, where should I go? And the first place I thought of was Carthage, because I love Carthage and I wanted to do for the students of Carthage what Carthage did for me when I was a student. Does that help answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Thank you. Yeah, I visited back in I don't know, last year. And we went during the school year and my tour guide just seemed to know everyone. And I thought it was really cool. The community just seemed so tight knit.
Yes. Thank you. Is there anybody else that has another question?
We have a couple in the chat, so I'll toss this one up to you. Is the network through LinkedIn or somewhere else? So what types of I guess social media platforms, how does this network come about?
We have two we have our alumni network, right? Where all our graduates can register in there and they can and they all work in different fields. They're CEOs, they're vice presidents. And so that's through our own platform. Then we have another platform called Handshake. And it is companies from all over the United States will post on our private platform jobs that they have. And they're typically full-time professional jobs or internships. And you won't find their jobs and internships on LinkedIn. However, we do also use LinkedIn, and we teach students how to maximize their LinkedIn so that when an employer does a search and wants to see what your LinkedIn looks like, that it's going to, blow them out of the water. We want it to be fantastic. Is that good?
Awesome. Very, very good. Another question in here: what types of career fields / companies does Carthage work with for environmental science majors? What types of fields do the environmental science majors tend to go into?
There's actually a lot of fields for environmental scientists. I mean, we work really closely with city, county, state, and federal governments for jobs. in that area. And there are also private companies that also post positions just specifically for that field. So we have our fingers in the pie. So we know who to reach out to, who to talk, and how to connect you, the student, to the right employer.
Yeah, and I would also add to that, right? The environmental science program offers 3 different tracks within that one particular field, right? So you have conservation and ecology, policy and an analysis, and then water and life. So really, even within those subsets, there's going to be a multitude of different jobs and career paths, graduate programs, opportunities within that. So what's nice about our location, right, is we can kind of tap into this beautiful body of water that we're sitting next to. We have land, we travel. A lot of our environmental science majors are actually out in the field, conducting, research and doing work out in the field. So we see them all over campus all of the time walking around. So lots of opportunities, and we can get you more specifics on that if you choose to need more information. Another question that we had, and this was kind of a fun one. I like this one, put a smile on my face. My parents got engaged at the Kissing Rock. Do you have any fun memories about the Kissing Rock, Gussie?
I remember, every year they, I don't know, who normally paints those rocks?
Oh man, that rock has been painted. I think, what was the stat that someone shared me with? Over a bazillion different paint colors. Bazillion. I didn't even know that was a number. Bazillion. That was a rock, and there's a long history of the Kissing Rock for those that have not been to campus to see it. It's right in the kind of the middle of campus, right, just off of the lakefront. And all of our student organizations, fraternities, sororities, athletic teams, our incoming freshman class signs it, our outgoing senior class, graduation class signs it, and that's one of the honored traditions that we have here at Carthage. And so just about every other couple of days, there'll be a new social justice thing on there. There'll be a new, whatever the month is that we're celebrating, right? Whether it's African American. I think this last week was Native American. This month is Native American Heritage Month. So it changes just about every day, and it's really cool to hear all of the stories around the Kissing Rock and some of the history of couples that have met here on campus. That rock has a very special meaning to campus here. So thanks for sharing that, and that's really, really cool. So are there any classes students take specific towards Aspire? So are these classes that these students are taking, or how are these meetings and things set up?
We allow you to make individual appointments to meet with your career specialist, to go over personal items that you're working on, like if you're creating a resume or if you need to work on practicing interviewing. We have activities that we have all along campus. In the fall, we have a Aspire conference that you can attend that works on your development, and it specializes in certain areas and fields that you can pick and choose which ones you want to go to. We try to partner with the clubs and do activities with the clubs so that you all can see us and know us and be a part of what's going on in the Aspire Center. We do trainings. Sometimes we'll come directly into a classroom and train on what the Aspire Center does and how it works. And sometimes we go in and we train on how to do a resume or how to find a job. So we will come into the classroom. We also teach in January, J-term, we'll teach some classes as well that you can actually register for. One of them is called Life After Carthage. So predominantly for those seniors that are graduating, and what are they going to do now, and how are they going to live, post-graduation. So we cover those types of skills.
Awesome, awesome. So another interest specific one here, and these may be difficult because we offer over 50 plus programs and majors. So for us to kind of dive deep into all of these particular majors, maybe that may be something that we can do offline. I know our admissions team would be more than happy to provide this information with you. Gussie can follow up as well. But Kate, we had a question here about our criminal justice department, and the question was, what does that look like? Does it go into the psychological aspect of law, et cetera? I'm thinking of either majoring in criminal justice and majoring in psychology. So I can very quickly touch on that, right? Obviously, criminal justice is the umbrella, and there are many, many different career paths under that. We have students that will go into law enforcement. We will have students that go into law. We will have students that are lawyers that turn into judges. We will have opportunities for students to pair up the criminal justice major with maybe a psychology minor or a psychology major, data and analytics, working with neuroscience and being working for the FBI and the CIA. I mean, there are tons and tons of opportunities within criminal justice. And so it really is going to matter about the opportunity, the network that you build here at campus, the internships that we provide, getting a chance to job shadow, having conversations with Gussie about how much you'd like to pay, because those pay scales are going to vary in a lot of those different areas. And so is the type of education that you're going to need as well. So I think the sky's the limit, and providing that broad brush approach and allowing you to kind of dabble in areas of interest are going to open up a lot of doors for you. Any add-ons to that, Gussie?
We'll fine tune, the career you want to go to. Like you major in criminal justice and you might minor in some other thing, but we will work with you to fine tune what you need in order to get that career that you want. And even if you don't know exactly what career you want, we work with you on that as well. So we provide the exposure to different types of jobs until one clicks, and then we figure out what are the things you need in order to get that job as far as education wise. We tailor your education as much as we can to your interests.
Good point. Absolutely. Yeah. Caitlin has a good question here. How fast do internships start? And how would this play if you're involved in other things on campus, whether it's athletics or the visual and performing arts, right? How, and transitioning from being a senior in high school and living with your family to now, being a freshman on a campus that you're not familiar with, right? How do these internships go? And I have our version of that answer, and but I'd be interested to hear, the Aspire's version of that answer too, and see if it kind of matches up with what we normally would provide for students and families.
All right, I'll tell you a few things and then you can just jump right in.
Perfect.
To add. Internships can be part-time, and then they can be spread over a school year where you're working so many hours a week after class in an internship. Or they can be the month of January when we have our J term, where you do a specific internship just for that month of January. Also, it could be a summer internship where you're just going to work in the summer in between classes. How does that work with your extracurricular activities? We have to juggle things around and figure out how to make it work. And that's kind of what our job is. Mm-hmm. So is to support you in trying to figure out how to get your internship in, how to get your classes, as well as stay socially active.
Yeah, that's a wonderful response. Very similar to what we would provide. So the nice thing about Carthage and our approach at Carthage is that not only do we allow students to start taking classes in areas of interest right away, but we also start pushing these real world experiences through job shadowing, internships. And so where other schools wait to have that as the last part before you graduate, we incorporate these things and we build these things into your 4-year undergraduate experience. And so most most of our students will have 2 to 3 internships under their belts before they graduate, which is giving you a lead in the competition, a competitive advantage in the
Yeah.
competition that only have that as a requirement right before they graduated. And so you're going to build that experience, you're going to build that network over the 4 years that you're here. So it could start as early as freshman year, you know, or as maybe as late as sophomore year in a lot of instances. And so it really depends, but we'll work with you with your schedule, as Guzzy mentioned, you know, especially for athletes. A majority of students here will only take 4 classes a semester. So there's a nice work-life balance to be able to do things that you're passionate about, you know, work on your studies and have some employment opportunities and experiences as well. So it's really kind of that all around package. Yeah, very good question there, Caitlin. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot more downtime in college than there is in high school. So if you feel
Yes,
very
there
busy
is.
right now, right, I'm in class from 7:30 to 3, and then I go to practice, and then I come home and I do homework and I eat, and then I do more homework, and then I go to bed. You're going to have a lot more time in college than you did before. But you're going to have a lot more homework, but you're going to have a lot more time in college as well. But I think Carthage does a very good job of having that work-life balance. You may have a 8 a.m. class, and then your next class may not be until 6 o'clock that evening, right? And so you'll, in between there, you'll have practice. You'll be able to sing in the choir. You'll be able to work or have an internship opportunity. And so we were able to fit it in because of our 4-year graduation guarantee. Most of our students are on track to graduate, so they don't have to use their summers trying to take classes to catch up and keep that graduation date on pace for 4 years. Our students are already doing that, so that summer is freed up for you to do those internships, work, anything, travel the globe, right? Whatever it is that you want to do. So hopefully that answered that question for you.
And
That is all the questions that we had in the chat. Does anybody like to add more to? Oh, we got another one here. One more question.
while he's looking for the question, I'm just going to answer, expand. The fact is that, you know, it might seem scary coming to college, being away from home, or it may not, depending on who you are. But don't forget, you're going to have peers. You're going to have people that are going to be in your dorm room who are seniors and juniors, and they also will help guide you. They also will give you hints and points on how to get it all in.
Good add-on. I like that. So Sarah's question, I had to kind of read through it here. There's, but essentially, Sarah, I'm not going to read word for word what it says on here, but I'm going to kind of give you the gist of it. So Sarah's question was, you know, is it doable for someone to graduate in 4 years if they're looking to double major? The example here was psychology and then maybe something related in the fine arts or the performing arts. And that happens all the time. I would tell you that over 60% of our graduates will leave here with multiple degrees, whether it's double majoring and minoring, majoring and triple minoring, and they're still able to do it in that 4-year period. As a matter of fact, in our presentations, I think we go through a recent graduate, and the name isn't on the top of my head right now, but he was a chemistry and theater major. And so he was focusing on chemistry, but his passion was also in theater, and he was able to double major and finish in that 4-year period. So very, very doable, even if both disciplines are on complete opposite sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
We want you to continue to focus on what you'd like to focus on and continue what you're passionate about as well.
Yeah, I have a student who has a double major in political science and photography. And he's graduating on time.
Yep. Very doable. Yep. Any other questions, either that you feel comfortable asking in front of the group or online? And just as I say that, we have another one here. The question is the assumption that you work with a student then to plan on what to take every year, classes. So that's, and I'll kind of jump on this one, Gussie. So that's the nice thing about Carthage is we have what's called a holistic advising model. And so you will have support from a lot of different areas, touch points from a lot of different areas where, most traditional colleges and universities, you'll have a career, an academic advisor that helps you kind of pick out the classes and gives you some support here and there. Here you'll have a student success advisor, you'll have an academic advisor, you'll have a student registration specialist, and then you'll have a career advisor in our Aspire program. And so those 4 touch points, are able to help students not only pick out the classes that they need to take in sequential order, but also find these other opportunities outside of the classroom as well. And so we do it all together. We do it all for you in a proactive manner to help put you in a path of success.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So say you went in with a certain major, elementary education. You took some classes your freshman year, and all of a sudden you realize, I really don't like elementary education. So you can come and make an appointment with me, and we can do some assessments to see where you're at, and figure out what you're best suited for based on your career, your interests, and the career you want to have, and explore different majors. And then once you figure out a major that you want, then we can connect you to that faculty advisor from that major. And you can work with that person to see what classes you need to change, what classes you need to add so that you can graduate on time. Is that good?
So we're all caught up. Oh, and just as I mentioned that again, we got another one. So do you get invited for the honors program, or do you have to sign up? What does that look like? So some students, depending upon GPA and provided test score, will receive automatic invitations to the honors program. Others that are interested in finding out more about it and if they would be eligible can absolutely reach out to your dedicated admissions and financial aid director. We can get you more information on the honors program. It is application based, so you do have to apply into it. We have so many seats per incoming cohort of incoming freshman class. So if you're interested in finding out more about it, please work with your director of admissions and financial aid, and we can get you some more information on that. Very good question.
Well, I'm just so excited by the participation that you all did, whether it was by typing or whether it was just jumping in on the conversation. You guys are fantastic. So sign up for Carthage.
All right. Well, oh, yeah, it looks like everything's kind of slowed down a little bit here. Gussie, is there anything else that we'd like to add as in closing here as we get prepared to kind of close out of this introduction?
No, just if you do have any questions later on that they pop up into your head, just send me an email. I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Yeah, and on behalf of the admissions office and financial aid office, we'd be more than happy to, if you didn't capture her information, to get you connected. We do this all of the time. We work very closely together with our offices. If you visited campus, we're actually right next door to each other, and we do
Yes,
work
we
together
are.
quite a bit. So again, everybody, thank you for joining the call, the virtual Zoom today. We hope you got something out of this.
Thank you all.
And we look forward to working with you on your college search. Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
I'm logging off.
Sounds good. Thank you. I'll see you down the road. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All righty. Bye-bye.